Lähdetään vaan pistäkää vaan. Piekseen. Tuossa on toi ovi auki, niin laitat sä ton toisen.
This session was different from the previous ones, mostly because we did the whole album now in our own studio, which is very convenient because then you can naturally do your own schedules and timetables, and you can record pretty much 24/7 if you want to.
We recorded everything in our own compound. Did not use a commercial studio at all, so also the drums were recorded in an industrial environment, which was really cool, I think.
For some reason we always thought that drums have to be recorded in a studio that is meant to be like, that is made for drum sessions, but this time we just tried to do it in our own big hall, and they turned out really well actually.
It took maybe 3 days for me to record everything, all the tracks. We were actually quite happy how it turned out, and it sounded quite awesome.
We didn't have a producer for this one. We worked with Mikko Karmela, who was recording the whole thing, and then Cal Karcher did some recordings with Alexi later on.
Go!
Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Tämä on paljon paremmat tässä.
It's almost over! It's almost over! It's almost over!
Wow, yeah, it was
Totally fine. All right, Ollie, which one do you want to do next?
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
Yeah.
I did.
It was late. No, me?
It was one of you squeaky brothers. Oh, testing you.
101. Yeah, I didn't go fucking squeaky at all.
But see how late
I was late on
It's
one
him.
of the...
It was him.
It's
Yeah,
him.
I caught up on the rest, but yeah.
I so wanted to blame the squeaky brothers.
Fuck, man.
It was the first high one. Okay.
What's cool about making a record is just everything. The process, to me, it's just so exciting. You know, when all the songs are written and you know, when they're finally done, it's just like, I'm so stoked when we actually hit the studio and like you see, it's like raising a kid or something. I mean, well, what the fuck do I know about that? But I mean, I can imagine that's how it is.
The gang shout vocals is always the best part of making an album, because you know, it's just a bunch of guys getting drunk and shouting into a microphone. So it didn't change this time as well. It was the most fun part of making an album.
Last night!
Yeah.
Got it.
Kolme ja last night.
All right, ready?
Last night! Last night!
I fucked it up, but I don't think it matters.
No. Okay, and now let's do too low, and then let's listen to all of these, and then we'll concur if it's
What's
okay
the
or
low?
not.
Last night! Last night!
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
No.
So do you want to add 2 more low ones or just leave it?
God, what do you think?
We could add 2 low ones.
Yeah.
It'll make it
Yeah.
fatter.
Last night!
Sweet.
I always thought that it's impossible to have a good-looking cover in yellow, and I tried to think of good-looking records that are actually yellow, and all I could think was Primus. Then we found this artist called Tuomas Korpi, and he made us a couple of samples, and we realized that it's going to be possible to make a good-looking cover with only yellow. It's like Bodom, but it's kind of like apocalyptic. There's nothing left, that the lake is dry and all the woods have been burned. The legend says that there's one tree that it's marked with an X, and that's the tree that was closest to the tent, but who knows if it's only a legend.
Onko sinulla vielä olutta? Onko sinulla vielä olutta?
But now
I
it's
don't
in
know if
like
I've heard
5
this
of
one.
them, right? Or 4?
That's 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say on the second verse, the first bum bum ba, whatever the fuck I'm saying, we'll do that, and then just use that bummer.
Yes. I think
Is
so.
there any more left?
There's this.
I do remember they recorded it though.
Yes. Yeah.
You've been on this trip before. I know about you.
You've been on this trip before.
Yeah, you've been on. We'll do You've Been On, and then we'll do Suicide Bomber, and then we're fucking golden.
Yeah. You got the paper out there to write?
You've been on. You've been on. You've been on.
That was better.
Suicide Bomber. Suicide Bomber.
My bad, I fucked it up!
Second time in a row.
Okay.
Alex, it's
Jesus.
okay. It's okay. Don't worry.
It's not okay. Can you just play it one more time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be fixed. I mean, it's just like...
Ei siinä mitään
It's just a little late. Yeah, I mean, it sounds awesome, but it's just a little late, that's
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Lyrically, you know, I mean, there's a lot of old school. They're made in old school CLB fashion in the sense that they're very aggressive, but there's a lot of stuff that people might find surprising, you know what I mean? And actually people already have, but in a good way though.
I think Morrigan was one of those. It was something different what I've heard from Alexi, which is very good. I mean, I like this new ideas what he has like on every album, like something totally different. It's a little bit slower, but still it has this somehow like dark, moody feeling.
Morgan's a goddess, and the song is about a mortal man being obsessively in love with the goddess, and that's just something different for CLB. You know what I mean? It's definitely one of my favorite tracks, by the way.
When the album was mixed, the song order was really tricky this time. So I disagreed a couple of things, but then in the end we changed a couple of things around, and now it makes sense. But there's a couple of odd songs, and I think they need to be carefully placed in the track list. So, but yeah, everything turned out good.
Everybody has their opinions on certain things, but usually in the end everybody agrees what ends up on the actual record. I don't think there is any riffs or any arrangements that I didn't like.
Like, we agree easily when it comes to music, but obviously there are disagreements sometimes, you know, when we're making the arrangements. But I mean, I do listen to the other guys, I mean, don't get me wrong, but sometimes, you know, if there's a riff or a melody that they just don't get, they're like, dude, that sucks. But in my head it's awesome. If it comes to that, then I'm gonna put it there, man. I'm not gonna let it go.
For the drums, it's always a little bit more stress because the songs are basically done usually right before the studio starts. So I don't have that much time to think of what kind of fills or whatever. I don't know how Mick got this idea to record that drums here, but anyway, it was a nice test and it really worked out. It was nice to hear the final mix, because you could hear that if you needed to have like a big whole sound, you could have it.
The thing is that, you know, I hear the whole fucking thing in my head already, you know, but they hadn't heard the vocals yet. And once they hear it with the vocals, they're like, ah, okay, now I get it. You know what I mean? But yeah, we trust each other, you know, which is very important.
Okay then. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna sing along with whatever the fuck. Burn. Yeah. Okay. This sounds promising. Go! Let's just do it again. Go! Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I recorded my parts pretty much with the same kind of setup in my home studio, except that something I did differently is that I used more of the analog distortion thingies that I have I got them already while making the previous album, but I just didn't use them as much. But now, with the darker moods and bits on the new album, I used way more of the analog distortion.
ESP guitars and Marshall amps. I used to say Marshall that I played on Halo Blood, and you know, it just works for me. Very simple, very rock and roll, and I like to have that type of a sound which is like very unforgiving. Better know your shit, better practice, you know, because if you fuck up, they'll hear it, that's for sure.
I use my ESP basses that are custom made, 4 strings, bolt neck. I have 2 different tunings, drop tuning and the normal tuning, hence 2 basses. It's easier for the recording sessions. I have my Ampeg SVT amplifier, and then I had my Sansamp guitar amplifier as a preamp. That's pretty much my basic setup, and it works every time.
Miten toi venytys, että I'll get vai I'll get?
Sillä että se get tulee iskulle.
I'll get!
Yes.
All right, number 5. God damn it, Rex.
Punch him in the face first.
Please. She's just a fucking front anyways.
I'm keeping my eye on him.
Näytä aina.
Redo that one.
Yes. Yes.
Shit, I don't know about the worst part of making this all. Well, the company, whatever, somebody fucked up and me and Cal had to take care of taking the trash out. So we were the cleaning ladies of the session. Nah, it doesn't matter. It's all good.
And I've heard a lot from my colleagues that they actually love recording, but for me it's the biggest pain in the ass. I don't enjoy it, and I don't really know why, but it's something that I just don't like. I don't know what is the problem, but maybe it's just the fact that when it's mastered, then the track is there and you cannot change it anymore. So you have to be sure that you play it the way you want it to be there.
When you listen the mastered album, then you realize that okay, this and this part could have been this and this way, but maybe you just have to live with it.
It's hard for me to find anything negative about making a record, but you know, shit gets frustrating sometimes, you know, like if I'm doing guitar solos or something and I just can't nail it down, you know, a lick or a picking thing or whatever. And I would just do it over and over and over, and I go fucking crazy. I go nuts. I start screaming and cussing and throwing shit.
Well, that was pretty fucking retarded. At least.
Want to hear it?
Yes.
But then again, once you do nail it down, even if it takes 50 takes, you're like, oh, fuck. You know, it's a pretty awesome feeling, you know.
The most interesting part of the whole thing is that when you actually start to make the new songs, when you gather the first times at the rehearsal place and you start to jam the new riffs with Alexi and with the other guys, when you hear some new melody first time or some cool riff the first time, it's always as exciting as it was the first time we ever did an album. And then, you know, some weeks later you have 10 new songs, and it's quite an incredible feeling that somehow you started from scratch, and then you have, you know, a whole album. It's very, very, very exciting to me.
Okay, that's the idea.
Yeah,
Let's just do it.
That's right.
Oh, you
Let's
got the-
end it.
yeah.
Let's end it at the.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone's fucking complaining they're losing their voice, but but that's. I mean, now you're fucking opening up. Like, Jesus.
I think we should do all of them again.
Yeah, let's do everything.
But I love weed!
No, we gotta redo that. I said love me. Was that a fucking Freudian slip or something? I don't know.
No, we love you.
I don't know.
Oh, you do?
I absolutely fucking love making records, and it's a lot of hard work, man. You know, it's just insane. Everyone gave their 110%, man.
You know, it was a little bit stressful time for me because I was just about to start recording when we were talking with Robe that he's no longer in the band. But that's life. But anyway, it went good.
You know, once you hear like a finished song and how good it sounds, it's just like it's the best feeling in the world, man. That's all I can say.